cannot lead others until you have led yourself through adversity. A leader's first duty is to maintain composure when chaos descends. When the storm gathers, the calm within becomes your sanctuary. Failures are not tombstones, but stepping stones to wisdom. To fail is not defeat, it is feedback. Leadership blossoms from character, not command. We become worthy of trust by never betraying our own values. Real authority flows from serving others, not dominating them. A leader listens more than he speaks. He leads with patience rather than pressure. True leadership is silent humility paired with unshakable resolve. Adversity reveals who you really are. The fire that burns adversity refines inner strength. It is not hardship itself, but the courage with which you face it that defines you. Wounds are not weaknesses, they are inscriptions of endurance. The harder the trial, the sharper the soul. Failure teaches more than success. Every error is an instructor dressed as defeat. Missteps pave the road to mastery. To stumble forward is better than standing still in fear. Failure whispers the question, was it worth doing? Courage replies, yes. When adversity strikes, you cannot control the blow, but you can choose how deeply it wounds. Inner peace is not absence of struggle, it is presence of purpose. The test is not how you fall, but how you rise again. Strength lives quietly in acceptance and action. Choosing inner peace amid pressure. Peace is not escape from life, but mastery within it. When the world demands more, the Stoic answers with less. Less fear, less noise, more focus. Serenity is not found outside, but cultivated within. To carry peace into battle is true victory. Leadership tested by adversity. The greatest leader is calm when crisis comes and clear when judgment weighs. He who endures remains, he who complains is past. Crisis is not to be feared, it's an opportunity to rise. A leader's resilience radiates hope in dark times. Facing repeated failure. If at first you are not victorious, the path still leads outward, keep walking. Each failure writes a paragraph in the story of progress. What breaks the spirit is not trying and failing, but never trying at all. In loss lies the seed of learning if you dare to harvest it. Peace after turmoil. Let silence refill your mind like rain refills a dry well. A calm mind outlasts the fiercest storm. Refuge is not found in retreat, but in the stillness within. A stoic heart remains quiet when the world shouts. Leadership through crisis. Lead not by fear, but by fidelity to principle. When all seems lost, the one who stands quietly strong becomes the anchor. Compassion strengthens leadership more than command. True leaders preserve integrity even when it costs them all. Failure is transformation. Let each failure teach you the texture of reality, and build a stronger character. To stumble is human, to rise with dignity is stoic. In failure's face, choose purpose over pride. Loss is not final unless you accept it so. Adversity shapes a leader. The weight of hardship reveals the strength in your back. A leader's resolve is tempered in adversity's furnace. What chaff die in wind? Only those with shallow roots. Hard knocks polish vision for clear direction. Inner peace through discipline. Discipline is the doorway to tranquility, not its denial. It is not the absence of desire, but the mastery of it, that brings peace. Peace is the reward of persistence, forged by repeated right actions. To discipline the mind is to calm the soul. Leadership with integrity. A leader wins trust by being predictable in character, not just in action. You are remembered more by how you lead when no one watches. Grace under pressure creates loyalty, not fear. Leadership rooted in virtue outlasts all popularity. Failing forward with wisdom. Failure dissolved in reflection becomes wisdom. When you fall, pause but do not linger. Each setback teaches one new way to stand upright again. Failures are trials taken as steps, not tombs. Adversity and inner harmony. Quiet joy arises when hardship ceases to conquer your peace. When the outer world rages, let the inner world remain hosted with calm. Adversity reveals the fragility of what lies outside, but strengthens what lies within. Be intact even when the world cracks around you. Now lead with integrity. Rise through adversity. Learn from failure. Cultivate peace within. Because the Stoic path is not cold. It is quiet. Unmoved by chaos. Rooted in what we can control, and free from what we cannot. May these words guide you to unwavering leadership, dignified failure, endurance through adversity, and lasting inner peace. In a world obsessed with riches and recognition, the Stoic stands apart. He does not chase gold. He does not measure himself by coins or titles. Instead, he measures by character, by discipline, by peace. Success is not in never falling, but in rising every time you fall. To the Stoic, wealth is not evil, but it is dangerous when it controls the mind. Money is a tool, nothing more. A servant to the wise, a master to the fool. Wealth is the slave of a wise man and the master of a fool. It is not the man who has too little but the man who craves more that is poor. The acquisition of wealth is no longer a matter of luck or genius. It is a matter of design. He does not despise achievement, but he does not worship it. He knows that to chase only gold is to lose the soul. Do not aspire to be a man of wealth. Aspire to be a man of worth. One follows from the other. Ambition is not evil, but ambition tied to the opinions of others is a prison. Real freedom begins within. Ambition means tying your well-being to what other people say or do. Sanity means tying it to your own actions. The Stoic is not greedy. He is content with the simple, the necessary, the meaningful, because he understands. Desire is endless, but peace is a decision. He who is greedy is always in want. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Don't trust in your money but in the one who gave it. He is rich who is content with the least. The more things you desire, the more you have to fear losing, and the more you depend on what can be taken, the less secure your happiness becomes. The more things you desire, the more you have to lose. The greater the wealth, the greater the fear of losing it. So the Stoic remains indifferent. He can use wealth, but he does not cling to it. He can enjoy it, but he does not rely on it. Be indifferent to money. Use it when needed, discard it when it's a chain. He walks through a world that says, more, more, more. And he replies, I have enough. Because to the Stoic, the greatest wealth is inner peace, and the highest form of success is mastery over self. In a world filled with noise, confusion, and change, there exists a quiet strength. It is not loud. It does not chase glory. It simply endures. This is the way of the Stoic. Let us begin. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. It is not things that disturb us, but our interpretation of their significance. Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. To live a good life, we have the potential for it. If we learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. No man is free who is not master of himself. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Don't hope that events will turn out the way you want. Welcome events in whichever way they happen. This is the path to peace. Fate leads the willing and drags along the reluctant. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. It is not the man who has too little but the man who craves more that is poor. He who is not satisfied with a little is satisfied with nothing. Look around you. Everything you have is borrowed. Treat it well but be ready to give it back. Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being. Don't spend the rest of your life arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Throw away your books, stop letting yourself be distracted. Is a world without pain possible? No. But a mind without suffering? Yes. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live. He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a living man. To die is not a terrible thing, for it is in accord with nature. Death smiles at us all we can do is smile back. The Stoic path is not cold. It is quiet, unmoved by chaos, rooted in what we can control, and free from what we cannot. May these words be your stillness in the storm. The Stoic is not naive about the presence of enemies. but he does not let hatred govern him. He sees opposition not as a curse but as a test, an opportunity to strengthen his character. He does not mirror the malice of others. He remains his own master. He who injures you becomes more wicked by doing so. When someone does you wrong, you must understand their motives, not their actions. You always own the option of having no opinion. Enemies cannot rob the Stoic of peace unless he gives it to them. They may insult, betray, or attack, but it is his response that defines the outcome. He does not retaliate with emotion but with reason. It is not the act that harms you but your judgment of it. If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your own judgment of them. What is to be dreaded is not the anger of your enemy, but the loss of your virtue in responding to it. The Stoic sees his enemy as a mirror. In their flaws he reflects on his own. He refuses to let their actions dictate his values. He remains anchored, unshaken, resolute. He who conquers others is strong. He who conquers himself is mighty. Do not waste what remains of your life in speculating about your enemies. The anger of an enemy is often more honest than the flattery of a friend. Even in conflict, the Stoic looks inward. He asks, what lesson does this opposition bring? Not every battle requires a sword. Some are won through silence. Some through patience. Some by simply walking away. Fire tests gold, adversity tests virtue. A Stoic is never defeated by another man's hostility, only by his own surrender to emotion. If your enemy wrongs you, do not repay in kind. To act nobly is victory enough. The Stoic lives above vengeance. He chooses justice over spite, understanding over rage, and virtue, always virtue, over reaction. For even when he walks among enemies, the Stoic walks in peace. The storm may come, but within you, there is a harbor, a quiet flame, a steady ground. This is the Stoic way. Endure, adapt, remain. What you avoid now will return stronger tomorrow. No wall is stronger than the will to break through it. The world cannot chain a person who governs themselves. Clarity begins the moment excuses end. Don't chase peace. Remove what disturbs it. Leadership begins when ego ends. Blame no one. Fix everything. He who controls his response controls his destiny. Obstacles are the architects of strength. Greatness doesn't shout. It endures. Fear feeds on hesitation. A quiet mind walks farther than a noisy one. Fame fades. Virtue does not. Don't build your confidence on applause. You were not born to follow the crowd. He who rushes into battle forgets to look within. Master yourself or the world will do it for you. You are not harmed by the insult, only by your agreement with it. Weakness often wears the mask of anger. To be still when provoked is true strength. The wound may not be your fault, but the healing is your responsibility. Don't run from failure. Run into it and emerge refined. Those who fear falling never learn to climb. The lesson repeats until the student is ready. Regret is the residue of ignored discipline. If you want less pain, want less praise. Do not borrow worry from tomorrow. Even your enemies are teachers. If you let them be, you become what you tolerate. Speak less. Reflect more. Anger is easy. Patience is mastery. The wise man listens, the fool reacts. If your peace depends on others, you have none. Freedom is not in doing what you want. It's in wanting what you do. Comfort is a cage that whispers sweet lies. Discipline carves the shape of freedom. One who needs nothing cannot be shaken. Happiness begins where comparison ends. To forgive is not to forget but to free yourself. Let the storm rage outside, build calm inside. No one can give you confidence, it is earned in silence. You are not your thoughts. You are the one watching them. The deeper the stillness, the louder the truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. Gratitude is armor against despair. A soft answer breaks the sharpest blade. Honor your time like a warrior guards his sword. You don't need more. You need less distraction. No fire can burn the soul that sees clearly. What breaks you also builds you, if you don't run. The crown is not given to those who shout, but to those who endure in silence. Victory is not loud. It's patient. Worry is imagination misused. The stronger you become inside, the less you need to prove outside. A man at peace disturbs no one and cannot be disturbed. True strength is not hardened, it is flexible. Don't chase what the world applauds. Chase what your soul respects. When the path seems unclear, walk anyway. Clarity comes with motion. There is no end to learning, only the beginning of understanding. When the ego leaves, wisdom enters. The one who holds back anger holds power. What you control is within. What you don't is none of your business. Possessions rust. Character does not. A man is no greater than what he allows to disturb him. Hardship is the test. Your response is the answer. The disciplines suffer less in the long run. Forgive yourself faster. Grow forward. If the journey is long, it means you're headed somewhere worthy. Don't escape pain. Use it as fuel. What the world calls loss, the Stoic may call refinement. You were made for more than ease. You were made to endure. Wisdom is knowing what to overlook. Let your silence teach more than your shouting ever could. Control is not about domination. It's about understanding what is yours. There's no peace in pretending, only in presence. Your story is not written by what happened to you, but by how you respond. In the silence of your thoughts, where no praise echoes, and no judgment follows, there leadership begins. It is not given. It is not claimed. It is practiced, quietly, relentlessly. Lead first yourself. Before commanding others, command your own emotions. Before giving direction, know your own aim. Before expecting loyalty, be loyal to your principles. A true leader walks first into the storm, not to be seen, but to understand the wind, to feel the weight others carry, to suffer with, not above. If the crown blinds you to the burden, you were never worthy of it. But if the weight humbles you, you were born to carry it. Leadership is not noise. It is not fury. It is calm in the middle of chaos. Steady hands in trembling times. Let your life be the proof, not your words. Let your actions be the anthem, not your titles. And if no one applauds, let anyway. Adversity doesn't knock. It breaks down the door. Uninvited, unwanted, but essential. Without fire, iron remains soft. Without pressure, the stone remains unshaped. Without adversity, you remain untested. Don't curse the mountain. Climb it. Don't avoid the storm. Let it shape your grip. Sharpen your footing. Life isn't meant to be easy. It's meant to mean something. Every scar, proof you stood your ground. Every failure, evidence that you fought. The obstacle doesn't block the path. It is the path. Face it not with rage, but with resolve. Each hardship you endure now is armor you wear tomorrow. Each moment you don't break becomes the reason you rise. Failure is not the end. It's the whisper that says, begin again, but wiser. You fell? Good. Now you know the floor. Now you know how hard the ground is. Now you rise, stronger. Success teaches little, but failure shows you who you are, what you cling to, and what must be let go. The shame is not in falling. It is in refusing to stand again. Rise not for applause, but because it is what you do. No great mind ever soared without first crawling through dust. No master ever became one without being called foolish at first. Be patient with your growth. The tree does not bloom in winter, yet still, it grows beneath. Fall, learn, rise, repeat. That is the Stoic way. Inner peace is not found. It is created in moments of stillness, of detachment, of clarity. You own nothing outside your mind. All else can be taken. But your thoughts, your judgments, your response, yours alone. Peace is not the absence of storms. It is the calm within them, the unshaken self. Even when all else trembles, you do not control the winds, but you can adjust your sails. You do not control what others do, but you can control how you carry it. What if nothing is missing? What if this moment as it is enough? Let go of the weight of should have, of what if, of not yet. There is only now, and it is already complete. The outside world is loud, but inside you can be still. You can be whole. You can be free. The Stoic does not seek a perfect life. He seeks a meaningful one, led by reason, forged by hardship, lifted by inner peace. He leads by example, endures what he must, rises when he falls, and above all, he remains unmoved by what he cannot control. This is not easy, but it is enough, and it is yours to live now. In the silence before the world stirs, you begin again, not because the world asks it of you, but because your character demands it. The wind howls, but the mountain does not move. Let others be tossed by fortune, you remain anchored. Wisdom is not granted by age but earned by endurance. A calm mind is a fortress no storm can breach. Let the day bring what it will, my strength lies in how I meet it. You are not your pain. You are the one who sees it and survives it. He who learns to govern his impulses governs empires unseen. You gain nothing by fleeing hardship, but you gain yourself by facing it. Your worth is not counted in victories, but in how many times you rose after defeat. A true life is not measured in comfort but in clarity. What breaks lesser men builds the one who does not retreat. To suffer and still smile, this is strength. Control your breath. Control your world. If you wait for peace to begin, it never will. Bring peace by how you choose to act. You do not need more time. You need more focus. The fire within you must burn hotter than the fire around you. Every man faces chaos. Few learn to walk through it with dignity. It is not the throne that makes the ruler, it is his restraint. You are always choosing, to rise or to excuse. There is no middle path. Let others chase applause. You chase silence and in it, truth. You were not born to float with the tide, but to stand against it when it turns from what is right. Discipline is the quiet friend that stands with you when all others leave. Better a quiet truth than a loud delusion. The man who knows himself cannot be conquered. Your peace begins the moment you let go of needing anything outside yourself to be different. Speak less. Observe more. Act with intention. Each obstacle is a mirror, showing you what you still lack. Choose what is hard, so that life may become easier. There is no defeat unless you name it so. You do not need to escape the world. You only need to stop becoming tangled in it. When fear rises, answer it with preparation. Let your legacy be your patience, your principles, and your perseverance. The highest form of strength is gentle. They may wound your body, but only you can give them access to your peace. You are not made of excuses, you are forged by effort. Success without virtue is failure dressed in gold. Every failure teaches you what strength cannot. In every downfall, find your foundation again. If you master your tongue, your thoughts will follow. You were not made to be ruled by hunger, anger, or desire, but to govern them like a just king. Joy that depends on anything outside is a slave's joy. The more you want, the more power the world has over you. Gratitude is the secret to wealth, because it rewrites the value of everything. Let your actions explain your beliefs. Even in darkness, the disciplined man finds direction. You do not conquer the world by force, but by refusing to let it conquer you. If your heart is steady, nothing can make you fall. A man cannot lead others if he is a stranger to his own soul. True leadership begins in stillness, not noise. You have no enemy unless you create one in your own mind. It is not cruelty that makes one powerful, it is clarity. The man who forgives is stronger than the one who strikes. Let your example be your loudest argument. Power is not possession, it is posture. Let hardship be your tutor, not your tyrant. You cannot control the sea, only your sails. Resilience is not hardness, it is harmony with reality. You do not need the world to be fair, only to be just in how you walk through it. If you lose everything but keep your principles, you've lost nothing of value. Avoid fame unless you are ready to be its prisoner. Rest not from the world, but from the noise within you. Begin every day with humility, and you will end it with peace. True peace comes when what you do, say, and think are all the same. A man's inner life should be his strongest fortress, not his last concern. Make decisions that your future self would thank you for. Do not fear the end, fear the life that never truly began. He who knows he is temporary wastes no time. Live now. There is no other time. The Stoic does not seek praise. He seeks peace. He does not run from chaos. He brings calm to it. He does not speak of wisdom. He becomes it. This is your call, not to feel powerful, but to become unshakable. Iron within, calm without.